Hey, we're rolling.
I know.
We have Justin Annis here with Jessica Gearhart. Jessica was one of our 6-week challenge OGs, and she is really, really wonderful in just about every way you can imagine. She's great with kids. But I had some questions for Jessica that I thought might be helpful for people who, really, no matter where you are in your fitness journey, Jessica's got a story that can apply. And, well, I'll tell you what, we'll get started. So you saw a Facebook ad.
Yes.
And you clicked it, and then what happened?
The only thing that kept running through my mind is my mom. Don't put any credit card information in, thinking it was a scam.
Yeah. You're not the only one.
Right. It seems like everybody thought it was a scam.
In fact, Dallas says, our friend from the same class that she took, who's been a member as long as Jessica has, Dallas sat here and said, yeah, I was pretty sure this was a scam when I saw it. Like, you ran a Facebook ad and I responded, and now I'm sitting in front of the gym. I haven't even let Dallas inside the gym before she's giving me her card, goes, but don't steal my identity, because I'm just sitting here going like, is this what you do when you go to Walmart? Like, what? I mean, we're just a gym, so you thought, so mom was like, don't give credit card information.
Right. Yeah, that's all I could think about.
Yeah.
But I just went through it. I got the confirmation text, setting up my interview. And then I remember walking up here and Teresa was sitting next to you.
Yeah.
And I was really intimidated. And I remember one of your questions was, what are your goals? And I said, I want to look like her. And pointed to Teresa. But no, the interview, everything was awesome. Right from the very beginning, I was hooked. Couldn't wait to start. And then I started, and the rest, I guess, was kind of...
You had some interesting results in the first month or so. What did that look like?
I was surprised with myself, actually, because I've never had a fitness regimen, I guess you could say, that I've actually stuck to. Yeah. So within the first 2 weeks, I think I lost 5 pounds, and I knew it was water weight because I was drinking a ridiculous amount of water.
Sure.
But I mean, as far as the inches went, my before and after pictures, just within the first 3 weeks, were enough to keep you wanting to come back and do more.
So 5 pounds, and then, I guess one of the best parts of my job is when somebody gets really happy about their results, they'll send you a picture.
Yeah.
And I could not believe it. You were the first person since we opened the gym that January, and we're in March and April, and you are like, is it okay to send you this? And I'm like, yeah.
I was just super excited.
And I got whoa,
Yeah.
This was 3 or 4 weeks, and you're like, she goes, it's only 5 pounds, but can you see the difference in my midsection? Now, what were you doing at the time that made this, that went along with this really well?
I was eating every 2 hours. Yeah, that's okay. I was eating every 2 hours.
Now, is that sustainable?
When I was doing it, yeah, I did really well with it, obviously, because I got really good results, but then just fell by the wayside.
Sure.
But yeah, I would actually carry a gallon of water around with me, and even if I didn't drink the whole gallon, if I drank half the gallon, I felt like I was doing that.
It was better than drinking nothing, and it was better than drinking soda.
Yep. So
sure.
That's pretty much what I did. I packed almonds with me, and I carried them around, beef jerky, just
sure.
snacks throughout, because every 2 hours.
Sure.
And when you're at work, that's kind of hard to do. Sit
Right.
down and eat a meal every 2 hours, but so that
No
was
doubt.
and then I came here and worked out probably 3 or 4 times a week,
Mm-hmm.
which consistency is key.
Sure.
So, but
How many sizes did you lose in that first, let's say, 6 months that you worked out here?
I wasn't even here for 6 months before
How long?
life got in the way. Honestly, I think 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe 3.
So did you lose a pant size?
I don't know if I lost the pant size, but my clothes definitely fit better, and I noticed that I looked better in my clothes
Yeah.
that I was wearing.
Sure.
Um,
No, so let's talk about what happened next.
Okay. Life.
Life. So
Life.
we all have it. And you know what? Changes in our routines, patterns, and habits can be a bad thing sometimes. A lot of times, though, it's good things that we are choosing to pursue. So let's just talk about what happened with you. Like, you were like one of the most committed, outgoing, energetic people that everybody loves seeing at the gym. And then suddenly it's like, I get a message, Justin, hey, listen, in the next 3 weeks, I may be moving, and I'm gonna either have to move like closer to the gym, because that's what I want to do, really, or I'm gonna have to move closer to work when work is 45 minutes from here.
Or I was gonna move back home to Ohio.
Oh yeah, or she was
Yeah.
gonna move to Ohio. So it's
Yeah.
either like Aiken, Evans, or Ohio. Like, you know, she covered all the bases there. Like Ohio, USA, like
Yeah.
not Ohio, Georgia.
Yeah.
Ohio in the middle of.
Northeast.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah.
so that happened, and what? Oh well, what ended up happening?
Well, the reason I didn't know where I was going was because my lease was up, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to afford a place on my own, and, you know, just the responsibilities that come with being an adult, I guess.
Big girling it.
Yes, terrible. I wish I could go back to being a kid. But I ended up having a couple friends that helped me out, so I was able to stay around, and I did end up taking 6 months off because...
From the gym.
Yes, because I was not by myself and on my own, and I didn't have my own personal space. I didn't have my own, like, Tupperware containers that I could meal prep and, like, keep in my refrigerator, and, you know, it was great that I had those people there to help me out, but I couldn't do the things being with them that I could have on my own. So I took 6 months off, and I gained 20 pounds, and then basically the same thing is like what got me started here is like I need to do something. Like I need to get back. I need to change. So then after 6 months in November, I came back and I was like, hey, like I'm back.
And you know, she said she would. She always said, "Hey, I'm gonna be back."
Yeah.
And I never doubted that. But still, there's like dozens of stories of people like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take a month off." It turns into 6, and it turns into a year. Of course, we haven't actually been here. We haven't even been in business long enough for somebody to take a year off
Right.
and come back.
Right.
So we don't even know what that looks like. But for Jessica, it is a. She actually really committed to it. Do y'all hear the music in the background? Is the sweet and sultry sounds of James Epps on the other side of the wall? Pretty sure. But but she came back, and so I didn't meal prep. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. You didn't exercise.
No, not at all.
Now
I
exercise
was
was
eating out a lot.
exercise was not a part of your. Well, was exercise prior to coming here a part of your life?
A little bit.
What does that mean?
Yeah. A little bit, as in I would go to the gym.
As
I would
little as
do
possible.
a couple reps, and I'd be like, okay, like, well, I did more
You basically
than
were
if I
so
would just
you
sit at
you did the
home.
you were so basic.
Bare minimum, yeah, like, yeah.
You would go to if the gym had a smoothie bar, you'd go hit the elliptical
Yep,
for a nice
curls,
warm up,
looked in the-
and then
looked in
drink the
smoothie.
smoothie
Yep.
and be like, oh, we totally earned this,
Yes.
like that Facebook video.
Yes.
So, not a part of your life. You did it because it was something that you thought that you should do.
Because I had to, yeah.
Yeah, and then you'd go and don't get the results, and then sort of like just like a lot of people.
Right.
What is it about the environment here that kept you?
Coming back.
That kept you coming back, but really, what is it? Why it kept you coming back? Then you took time off. It would have been easy to justify all the reasons that you weren't going to do this again. So why did you do it? Why'd you just decide I am going to come back? What is it about this place or you that was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and stick with it again?
It's just the environment. Like, everybody here welcomes you with open arms, and they motivate you, and they push you, and that's one of the things that I never had when I went to the gym by myself. Like, I didn't have that motivation to push myself to the fullest potential that I knew that I could do. Because it's just so much easier to just be like, okay, well, I did okay. But like here, you can do okay, but when everybody's motivating you and cheering you on, like, you do so much better. And just that in itself, and plus the structure of like actually having a coach there at all times, and like having a structured workout that you need to follow, and then you have the other people that are in the class with you that are like motivating you and cheering you on. It's just, I mean, there's nothing, that in itself is an adrenaline rush.
Sure.
In addition to the rush that you get from working out.
You know, there's two things that stick out that, and you mentioned something that made me think of something, and that's how my ADD brain works. But what I've heard in the past, and I want to say it may have even been from you, that, you know, not we all, but a lot of us work and live in environments where there's not a lot of gratitude that happens. And so, like, it might be the only time today that somebody encourages you is when you come to the gym. Like, there's a lot of stuff in social media that is kind of like, hey, maybe we're getting applauded for something, but I might have had to fish for it by putting it out there. You know what I mean? Like, and then like somebody's like, yeah, no makeup, no filter,
Right.
and then everybody's like, girl, you're so pretty anyway. I'm just thinking of crap I've seen.
Right.
But
Just,
like,
yeah,
that is not really.
that's the negative attention. Like,
It's bad. It's like, but here, it's like, hey, Jess, you did great today, and then like, maybe that's the only time today or this week that somebody's going to hear that. And the other thing that somebody said was, it's like personal training in a small group setting.
Mhm.
Like, sometimes, even with a personal trainer, you're going to go and do a warm-up on your own. And so there's times and parts of your workout that you're going to do without direct supervision. Other times you're going to come and get your form and technique tweaked. When that's what happens here, we're just doing it in a group of 10 people.
right.
Some people don't need instruction and help. Other people need to have something tweaked, or need to, like, hey, we need to not do this movement anymore because you look like you're gonna break your arm.
Yeah.
So, what now? Anything you want to add to that before I move on to another question?
What, like, kept me coming back?
Yeah, what kept you coming back besides that it was encouraging, motivating, you got an adrenaline rush between the competition of the in-house?
Well, I mean,
Competition.
gaining 20 pounds definitely helps. Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not
God.
gonna be-
Hey, you know what? I gained 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I lost 10 when I was doing this challenge,
Yeah.
challenge, but then I gained 20 like, that was
And then at that time, I couldn't wear enough clothing
to
to
cover.
cover it up. Yeah.
Now you've been back since late November, early December. What have your results been so far? I don't think I've measured you since the
You
first time you
did,
came
but I
back.
don't know where they're at. I didn't take before pictures.
This time?
Yeah.
It's okay. You got a really good one for the first time.
Right. So I'll just like
we'll
to
just
keep
flash that up
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Or in the comments
Yeah.
under the post would be good too. So, what besides the 20 pounds and the motivation, what is it that kept you from it? Is that it? That can be it.
Yeah, pretty much, and just how good I felt, like, regardless of how I felt.
You felt a lot
here.
better than 2 reps in a smoothie.
Yeah.
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 That's
And
cool.
then I'm just like, and I don't know, and like all of my friends and stuff like ask me, because sometimes I'll go out after
Sure.
and like, you know, that is a topic that comes up. It's like, well, where do you work out? You know, like, I throw your name out there, like, it's nobody's business, you know, but it really takes a certain kind of person to be able to come to a CrossFit box and do what we do.
Sure.
And I feel like,
I don't know if this is gonna be big enough to read, but the pain of change has to be, I don't know, how do you do greater than, less than?
greater than, less than,
If I'm trying to do greater than right now,
this way,
this way?
yes.
The pain of change needs to be greater than the pain
No, sorry. I need to move. The pain of change needs to be greater than the pain of staying the same.
That's less than.
The pain of change has to be less than.
Yeah.
This
That's
is-
yeah. Okay, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the pain of the same, like if this is less, human nature is to choose less and avoid the change.
Well, yeah, change is the scariest thing that anybody can go through.
And you know, a lot of people don't want to be that Kool-Aid drinking CrossFit guy or girl, you know, they're like, no, I'm not going to do that because they're too cool for it. Well, guess what? I think I heard either Buddha or Dalai Lama say something like humans are the only species that will trade their health for wealth, meaning we'll spend more time working to build some kind of personal empire or nest egg or retirement plan. We will trade that for our health. And then when we have wealth, we will trade wealth for health. Now, he's talking about spiritual, mental, emotional, but physical as well. Like, a lot of people will just live their lives until they're 40, and then they're like, oh crap, I'm fat. Now I've actually got some money and I'm gonna hire a trainer. So they sacrifice their health for their wealth, and then they have to pay with the money that they've been earning together. So I asked you like 13 seconds before I pressed go on this about some questions that you might have. So I'm curious about them. So what are the 3 things that you like doing the most when you come here?
I like to lift heavy-ish.
Now, it's heavy? Heavy is relative, girl.
Yeah, I guess it's your fitness. So, okay.
It's your fitness.
Right.
Today I took an It's My Fitness day, and I didn't do anything but fix a rower and just talk about my sore elbow. That's my fitness today.
It's your fitness.
Yeah.
No, I like to lift heavy. I like snatching and I like squats.
So apparently she likes the barbell.
yeah, I guess
She's
so,
good at it,
yeah.
and it comes naturally to her. And she's typically the strongest first year person in her class.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, muscle.
And what are the 3 things that you like the least?
Running. I think that's the majority of people's least favorite. I don't really care for shoulder to overheads just because it hurts my wrists.
Yeah.
I do have wrist wraps that my mom got me for
Good.
Christmas.
Oh.
But I haven't used them yet. They're still in the package.
Well. Keep them there. See, the pain of change has got to be greater. I mean, it has to be less than the pain of staying the same. Clearly, it doesn't bother her that much.
Right.
So.
And then burpees, I guess, are not really my most favorite.
You know what? Today there was a girl in the gym who's fairly new. They were doing burpees, and she just said, "Oh my gosh, I hate burpees." And I wrote myself a note that regardless of how this conversation went with you, that I was going to work this into the video. After Granite Games last year, which was Granite Games 2017, I found myself I was hurt and injured, and I couldn't work out really with the enthusiasm that I wanted to. And I don't want to keep talking these videos about this time that I got hurt at Granite Games. That's maybe just me plugging Granite Games. We made it to Granite Games. David carried Jamie and I to Granite Games. As I was not able to work out with intensity and not able to do a bunch of things, I just said, man, I know burpees are going to be in the open, and I am just going to, when I'm able to go, I hated burpees. I am changing my mind about burpees. I just decided, changing my mind about burpees. I love burpees now. I do. I truly, I just decided that I was going to be grateful for burpees, and the only way to be grateful for them is to experience them, which means do them. So instead of half-assing it in the workouts with burpees, I found my way. I watched people do burpees at Wadapalooza. Brandon Phillips, who does our programming right now, he's a burpee machine, and he's old. He's old like me. We shouldn't be doing no damn burpees. But but burpee over bar or burpee box jump overs or burpee box jumps. We do burpee chest to bar now. Like
Yeah.
I just decided I was gonna like them. And so something happened to where suddenly I was like, I'm gonna crank through these burpees, you know?
I should try that then.
Well, I don't.
I know she did that with
you need-
running too.
Well, yeah, maybe do it. Maybe find something that's sort of but this is a life thing, not just a. This is a whole person in a bigger thing than just about burpees. Really, it's sort of like,
That mentality.
yeah, you know, if you don't like your kid right now, or your I'm telling you, this is true. If you don't like your kid, your boyfriend, or your husband, try doing something nice for them while you're not liking them. Try doing something nice for them while you don't like them, if they're worth it, by the way. Boyfriends, girlfriends, hey, if you're going to go marry them, you should do this. If you're not going to marry them, you know, don't put the effort into it, I guess. You know, if you already decided that. I don't know where you are in your world, but for anybody who's looking, I would highly recommend dating Jess Gearhart if and when she was available. Not to say she doesn't have her own brand of crazy, because let's face it, she's got long hair.
We all do. It's not that long.
I mean, but it's not you're a girl. That's my point. You're a girl. But if you do something nice for another human, something will happen because you were thoughtful. Gratitude follows gratitude can lead to action, but I found that when that is not something that's going on, action leads to gratitude. Mic drop. Marker drop. But it's true. This is a life thing. If I don't like burpees, why don't I do some burpees and appreciate the process of getting better at burpees?
Yeah.
Lifting is easy. Gymnastics is easy. It's hard for us to sometimes get to a place where I really like doing double unders or skill work or Metcon stuff. Skill work, let me back up. Skill work and lifting is like a fun return on my investment of time. Because I can do a squat program and then I can see my squat numbers go like boom, like Corey Williams, she did the challenge in the same time frame as you, and she experienced massive gains in her squats, and she's like a thin type chick, and she's like fighting for every quarter inch of leg and butt she can grow. It's like weekly she's like, hey, I can't wait to measure in 3 weeks. I can't wait to measure in 2 weeks. I'm sort of like, it's like a countdown. We are not missing a measurement on Corey, because she's like, I need that half inch. I'm like, oh, that's what she said. But so I just decided I like burpees. I challenge anybody, maybe make a list of things that you don't like doing that is inevitable. I don't like doing dishes and laundry particularly. However, I have found that in disciplining myself 2 or 3 times a week, that I can empty the dishwasher while I'm watching some show in the background on the television, or I'm listening to a podcast. I can't tell you the number of Ben Bergeron podcasts I've listened to while folding laundry and doing dishes. Like, you can couple the bad thing with a good thing and make it a thing where the bad thing goes away. Now, it serves me because I'm hard to sit still and focus at the same time. The fact that I've done it this long, like right? High five again. So, I think again, my challenge is take the thing that you don't like doing, that's inevitable that you gotta do, and find a way to make it a positive thing for you. Burpees is a practical thing for us, running is a practical thing for us, but maybe try it with your kids or your spouse or somebody in your family like that you're not really loving on right now, but you need to. Find a thing and do the nice thing for the person that you're not really vibing with. And there's probably some biblical references there. I'm pretty sure there are, like carrying the bag if somebody asks you to carry the thing for a mile, carry it for 2. Like, something will happen in a gracious and giving mindset.
I I could
How
actually
deep is
apply
that?
that. Well, I actually could, like, for like personal issues that are going on right now, I could actually like apply that too.
You want to share?
No. Not
Okay.
really.
All right, got it.
Not on video.
There you go. So, but good. Like, take that
Mhm.
thing and so I see a question that you wrote down here. Like what?
Yeah. Basically, because right now, like, I do the scaled version of the WOD.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously I know it's not gonna happen overnight, but like, what steps do I need to take to get to be able to do the RX?
Man, that is a huge question. Huge question. So, like when we're talking about RX, we're probably if it's burpees, body weight, kettlebell swings, like I'd say what I'd consider your basic core things. You're gonna row the calories and you're gonna ride the calories on the bikes. You're gonna do the burpees and the air squats and the kettlebell swings. But what are you talking about specifically? Can you give me a specific example?
Just like, do I have
Oh, the
to-
open head muscle ups in it.
Yeah.
You're not doing muscle ups.
I'm not even doing pull-ups.
Not yet. Oh, so
I'm doing ring rows.
right?
But
Okay.
I've noticed, okay, so it's, like I said, it's not gonna happen overnight, but like I noticed that like my feet are further underneath me than when I had started.
Yeah.
But it's like, do
Listen
I,
to this.
during a WOD, do I try and do something and then like not do it in its entirety, or should I stick with something that I know that I can do from start to finish?
So you can't do pull-ups, but pull-ups
No.
are in the workout.
Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna scale pull-ups. What are some of the things you've done in the past that are pull-up? You just said ring rows.
Yeah, just ring rows, because I was told with the banded pull-ups, it kind of like assists you down and like it kind of relaxes the muscles that you need, like, I don't know, kind of.
There's so my theory on banded pull-ups and banded pull-ups are excellent ways to train positioning my body so that I'm pulling from my stronger body parts, which are my lats. That's where I'm going to do a lot of my pulling. My row is, we row with our
Yeah.
backs. Don't row with your arms. Like, I want to row with my back and pull back here for power. Banded pull-ups have their place I think, in body positioning. Here's another one. This is an underused one. Negative pull-ups.
Oh, is that like where you?
That's where I would start at the top.
Lower yourself down?
So I'm going to start with my chin over the bar as best I can, and then I'm going to lower myself down. So I'm still working the muscle group that I need to, but I'm also working, that's also going to be a bicep slow release. And anyway, so ring rows, banded pull-ups, negative pull-ups, and jumping. So pull-ups can be a strength thing. So we do, what we're looking at there is body weight or body mass to upper body strength ratios for strict, and I'm talking about strict pull-ups because Brandon Stackpole, he's a shorter athlete. He's probably 5'10" and 240. So his body and his frame, he's lost 80 pounds since I've known him.
Right.
But there's things that where his upper body, I'm even at a deficit with upper body strength to body mass ratio. I'm not strong in my upper body for my size. And so gymnastics movements and that kind of thing is a struggle for me too. But all of these things lead to getting to the next spot, getting to the next place. So I saw people doing pull-ups for the first time in the open yesterday. Corey, going back to Corey, Corey really doesn't kip very well. We haven't gotten to that place of development for her. Part of it though is, you know what, I gotta tell you, if pretty soon there's gonna be some opportunities where we're gonna write specific work for the athletes. It's gonna be a month's worth of work, probably like 3 times a week. And it's sort of like that builds towards a specific goal. So,
That's awesome.
there's going to be and there'll be an offer for that kind of stuff. But it's additional programming that you can do and be held accountable to that would train. That here's a month's worth of work, I want you to do this, and then at some point video the thing and see what kind of progress we've made. So that when you see these things in workouts, you know exactly what to do. That might even be different than what the coach is asking for today, but that's one of those things where you engage with the coach. But how do you get to the RX? Before you do kipping pull-ups, so pull-ups are in a workout. Before you do kipping pull-ups, we're going all of these things to get to where we can do strict pull-ups. Or we've developed enough strength to safely kip pull-ups. Do kip pull-ups, kipping pull-ups. Then we do butterfly pull-ups. And then from there, we come, after we've gotten the pull-up down, we're going to go to chest-to-bar pull-ups. Once we get that down, we're going to go to bar muscle-ups. But we don't get there tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
We
It's
gotta
gonna be a
get-
process, but holy
there's
cow.
Yeah, but listen, let's like why don't we get together sometime and we'll go through the process of what we want you to do for a certain time period, and then we'll do that. I'm gonna charge you $1 million
I'll
for
be
it.
your guinea pig, your trial.
That's it. So, how do you get the RX level? Sorry,
There you
it's
go.
all in the warm up and cool down. It's all in the building of the skill. It's all in, guess what? Double unders. I don't care who you are. If you don't go practice double unders before the workout, you're not going to get to where you can do double unders, 100 double unders in 5 minutes. So, you got to practice the things, you know? So, how do we do that? How do we practice the things? How do you get to the RX? Oh, and by the way, here's another thing. I can't talk about scaled versus RX without saying this. It is your fitness. We write a program for scaled athletes and for elite level athletes. We like Cotton, you and Cotton are going to do the same workout. It's going to be a different gymnastics movement for you, and it's going to be a different weight for you currently. Okay?
I'm coming for you.
Oh, snap! Sounds like Gearhart and Dallas are ganging up on Cotton. Cotton's got a knife in those booty shorts she wears to work out in. I'm telling you, I've seen her stab people. I hope the authorities are not listening to this. Is this on private page or are we going public?
I
We're
don't
like,
know.
I mean, I never would ever have seen Cotton pull a knife on nobody. So, but just because the scaled workout calls for 55 pounds for a hang clean, and the RX calls for 85 pounds. So if scaled is 55 pound hang clean and RX is 85 pounds hang clean, but there's also muscle ups. So this says pull ups and this says muscle ups. What should you do if you are not able to do muscle ups? I'm sorry, you're not able to do. Okay. It's probably a bad example. I can't do muscle ups, but I can do this because you like the barbell, but you don't like it the muscle upping. So what should you do?
Do the 85 pounds and then stick with the pull-ups.
I'm going to be doing my best version of this. What we do with this rep scheme, by the way, the rep scheme will determine which one of these things we do. If it calls for 20 pull-ups, I'm not going to have you do 20 banded pull-ups. It's going to be jumping or ring rows. But if it's 6, like we had, in the 18.3, it called for 12 pull-ups. Is the scaled version was 12 pull-ups. Well, if that was a regular workout in class, we might have it. Let me back up. 18.3 is a bad example because we're not going to put people on the band for that. On Wednesday, we had a workout that was that called for muscle ups, and it called for 6 muscle ups each round,
Yeah.
or 6 pull ups. So 6 pull ups is a great rep scheme to get into a band, to train as little a band as I can, and hopefully what I'm doing is I start this 2 weeks I'm on this size band,
Mhm.
then like that size, we're gonna be on this size band for 2 weeks, and then hopefully 2 weeks later we're on this size band until we're able to safely do strict pull-ups, possibly safely do kipping pull-ups. Kipping pull-ups is so much less about strength and more about technique.
Yeah, it's really
So if you can get your hips and arms working together in unison, suddenly we make pull-ups sound like a full body exercise. Guess what, America? It is. So, how do you get the RX level? We make a plan. We pick out 2 or 3 things that you're lacking. Brandon Phillips, again, to quote him, he says, my philosophy is you breathe heavy, lift heavy, and develop skills. Breathe heavy, lift heavy, develop skills. What we're talking about here is the skills. Because you're already on the track to be one of the stronger girls, so like the weights, are less of an issue. Body weight movements and the cardio functions. Do you have double unders?
not very many at a time. I can do a couple. I don't know. I don't really do double unders.
Okay, so there you go. But that would be, so what we just identified 2 skills that keep you from RXing workouts.
Yeah, just because
Strength won't happen in a month,
Mhm.
but a skill might.
Right.
Yeah, Mike can go from no dubs, I'm going to do singles in the workout, to I'm going to do pull-ups, and rather, let me back up. I can do we might be in a month in a position for you that you're able to do a couple of strict or kipping pull-ups, and you might be able to get 20 double unders.
Let's do it.
So
Let's write that down.
I wrote it down.
Okay.
I wrote it down so we can get right back around to it. Hey, thank you for telling about your journey with
Yeah.
us, and thank you for your questions and things. And I hope that there's something that's valuable for the people that have been watching this. I don't know what the title. I gotta work on a title for our little time. What would you title it? What would you call this?
Awkward interview about life.
Thought this interview is called "I tricked you into into some profound, deep life stuff, but I told you it was about fitness."
No.
I didn't know it was gonna go there.
Hey, I'm totally. If I can, because I know I'm not the only one that's gone through something of that nature. So, maybe just me talking about it helps other people realize, like, hey, if she can do it, I can do it.
And I don't want to speak out of turn here, but you're one of those people too that if somebody felt like they identified with what you were saying, that they could reach out to you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
How do they do that? How do they do that? They can just find her on the Greenbrier Fitness member page.
Yeah.
If you don't have her contact info, friend you on Facebook.
Yeah.
Not you creepy trolls. No trolling for Gearhart.
I don't usually or accept people I don't know too well.
She doesn't. She's very unaccepting. So.
But I mean, message me or whatever. and,
Sure.
Like,
What if you hate that person? You won't respond.
No.
But yeah, generally speaking, people that are hearing this that want to reach out to you, that are inspired by maybe or identified with your story,
Mhm.
they can find you Jessica Gearhart on Facebook. Right?
Gearhart.
I call her Gears like early on because she was so energetic. I was like, man, that's Gears right there.
And there were so many Jessicas too.
Oh, we had so many Jessicas and
Whatever.
Tear.
Glad
Hey.
I'm back.
I'm so glad that you're back too. Hey, that's it. Thanks for your time, guys.